Hi everyone, Hazel here from South Africa. I'm back for episode 2 of my Z.I.A page that I started yesterday. I can't stay away. It's so exciting for me. I would like to add that I have now grown overnight to 125 subscribers. I am so amazed. It's fabulous. So welcome to my new subscribers. It's wonderful to have you on board, and I hope we'll have lots of time to chat. Okie dokie then. So we have just a quick rundown. We have made a background with a tree stencil to help it, which I did on camera. Then last night I could not stay away, so I came back and did a little bit more on the page, which I will show you. Let's just move this out of the way. I'm going to be using that in a moment. Let's just have a look here. Right, so now this is where this is quite useful for you guys, because I made a couple of mistakes yesterday and I have started to fix them. So this is a lovely way of showing you all how with mixed media work you very seldom have to actually throw something out because it's not working. There's always seems to be a way to fix it, which I think is pretty amazing. Anyhow, so what I did here, just to cut a long story short, was I went around and I outlined all the tree branches and that sort of thing that I wanted. Then I sketched in my mushrooms and bits and painted them over with gesso, just to kill the background, to make it easier to apply the paint later on. And I've started adding leaves to some of the trees. Now, looking at the size of the mushrooms and then looking at the trees, you can see that what we should start doing is not calling these trees, but calling them bushes, because we were coming down to the level of the mushrooms here. So I've started here. This is a Zentangle, I think, if I remember correctly. Darn it, I meant to look it up. And I don't know if I will have put a name here, but let me just have a quick look. I don't think it's a doodle. These are obviously mushrooms or fungi of some sort. This is something called poke root, which is a Zentangle. There's a few Zentangles that I'm going to be putting in here, adapted obviously, but they tend to look like fungi, so that's why I've picked them, and I'll show you in here some of them. So this is going to be a little bit kind of drawn out, but I think it's interesting, and I think you guys will enjoy learning about it, you know. There we go. Here is a couple of them. So I'll bring them right up close. This here is called sprinkle. Is spring, as in spring. So it's sprinkle. And that looks a little bit sort of shroomy. Then here we've got poke root, which is this one, and poke leaf, and those also look a little bit mushroomy, wouldn't you say? So I'm going to be including those in amongst my mushrooms. Okay, now what I want to do is before we start painting the mushrooms and things, and painting the trees in the background, because the trees in the background I can't do until I've finished laying out the foreground. This is what I discovered yesterday evening, which is why I'm saying I made a mistake by doing the stencil first. How this should have worked is I should have done the background on the gessoed paper to give it the non-porous background, and then I should have added in the mushrooms and all the other little bits and pieces that I wanted to add in the foreground here. And then I should have taken the stencils, laid them over everything else, and drawn them in. Probably take a shortcut and use the black marker to draw these in, because they're going to be darker than anything else. So I wouldn't have had to come back and paint them white or use the gesso. I could have just left them as they were and painted over them, and it would have been a lot quicker and a lot easier. However, we do live and learn. So this is just to show you that these things can be saved, and saved quite happily. Right, so now what I would like to do before we start is just to show you the process of drawing the mushrooms, because this is something else that I've discovered with my interest now in this art form. The actual drawing of things is so restful. It's quite amazing, and you'll be surprised at how quickly and easily your hands become accustomed to the different things that they have to do. I mean, the one thing I have never been able to do in my life is to draw a straight line without a ruler. However, allow me to show off just a tad, because if you look here, they show you how to do it so easily. You take a pencil and you make a little tiny mark here and here, and that shows you where you want to draw your line, and then you just draw it. And I found you put your pencil here, then you move your eye over to this dot. So holding your pencil here but looking at this dot there, you just move your whole hand. Don't try and move the pencil or your wrist. Just go right across like that without moving your hand. You're moving actually just your arm, and there you end up with an almost perfectly straight line. Don't know if you're going to be able to see it, maybe, but you see what I mean. Anyway, let's get back to the mushrooms. So watching this other person doing a mushroom, I've learnt this. You start with the cap. So let's just take a small mushroom and we'll just do an ordinary shape like that. Okay. Now, you need to decide, are you going to have this look, or are you going to have this look where you can see underneath the mushroom? So I think let's do underneath the mushroom, because it's more fun to see. So you draw a curved line from this side to that side, and then just do a little curve like that, and never be afraid to turn your paper round and round and round as you're working, by the way. Now you're going to go back and do that. I can see that I shouldn't be using this. I should be using a pen, because this is not showing up very clearly. in this light. So I'll just take one of my black pens. So we started with this curve. Came down to there. Then we put this top curve in. Just like that. And because I'm just using the pen, now I don't want to go all the way around, do I? Because I have a stalk to allow in here. So we look for somewhere in the middle of this oval here. So let's say we want the stalk to be about that wide. So I've put these two dots there. Now I'm going to take it down, and you can make it look a bit of a bulb at the bottom, like that, and bring it up again. Okay, I missed the other dot, but never mind. Then you do that. Okay, and then you join up these, and there you have your little mushroom. So it's really quite easy. Let's do one more. Let's take a different shape. We'll do a low flat one. So we're going to go like this. And we're not going to do that, but what we are going to do is we're going to do this. Just bear with me. We're going to do a wavy line like that. Okay. And then before we do anything about the bottom layer, we do need to just do this. Let me show you. So now we curve around here, and we go like that. Okay, now let's put in our stem. We'll do another little bulbous one because they're the ones that look the best. And there we go. Now we want to just carry on. And you see what we've done? We've brought this curve down, and this one has gone up. So we've now we're looking at the underneath and the top. Let's bring this up a little bit closer to you. You see, guys? That's how it looks. Now, to draw in what they call the fins, which are the stripy bits underneath the mushroom, I'm going to start here. So I have found you take it from that corner there, and you take it across to here, like that. Then I've also found the easiest way to do this is to draw in a few lines starting from the same point but opening outwards, because then you're going to end up with a lovely, neat and proportional set of fins. Let me just show you here. So I always go from the outside in. I just find that works best for my brain. So that's how I do it. And you see, as we're coming into this middle point, we are drawing over and over the certain areas here, and we're getting very interesting shading. You see that? So let me just finish here. We will probably speed this up. There we go. You see why I don't like to start in the middle and work outwards. Right, now we're going to do exactly the same thing here, but with one little difference. So we start here and we do this, then we go this side and we do the same thing. You see that? Then we're going to go like that, and we're going to go like this. Okay, and then here we're going to do it this way till we get a straight line in the middle. And then again we start at the outside and work our way in. Okay, you can see that I've flipped over my cutting board because I know that it struggles, the camera struggles to focus when it's got all those lines to play with. So look, I've been having a bit of a hard time editing my video, so we're not going to be able to get very far after this. But what I did want to show you is that I'm going to be, all right, first let's say that I have completed the mushrooms, because I'm not sure if this is going to come up in the video thus far. But you can see that I've completed these mushrooms, and you can see how effective it is, and it's such a simple thing to do. Now, the other thing I'm going to do, and this is quite fun, is I'm going to put birds on my page, but these are Z.I.A birds. Kelly Bluen from Minutes of Zen drew these, and they're just too gorgeous. So I'm just going to draw one very quickly to show you. This is what it starts like. Mine are slightly different from hers, but this is the general idea. So you do that. Actually, let me use my pen, because it's really not easy to see. This pen bleeds through, so I'll just put an extra sheet of paper underneath. Okay, here we go. So you draw a half circle. That's a better looking circle. Then you just stick a little triangle on one end. Then what you do here is you leave a bit of a space. So I'd say 3/4 of the way down. This is the halfway mark, so this would be 3/4 of the way. You do that. Okay. Then you have some feet, and you can make the legs as long or as short as you like. And I do them this way because I know that birds have a back toe. So I do mine that way. This is the beak of the bird. As you can see, this is where we put the eye, and you can have him looking anywhere. So let's put him looking down, kind of. And this is the basic shape of your bird. If you have a look like that, it's very, very easy to do. And now I'm going to show you what I've done while I was desperately waiting for the video to edit properly. I'm just going to move these to one side because I've put this under here to flatten it out a bit. But voila, I have been adding to it. And you see, here are our birds. There's one, and there's the other one in the tree. Don't they look gorgeous? You just do Zen Tangle type bloomies on them, flowers on them, and there you have it. These ones are slightly different to the ones that Kelly does, because I make that my own. Like for example, I have given them a tummy line here and here, so that I can give them a different colored tummy when it comes to doing the actual coloring, the painting. But this is as far as I've got. I have started adding to the leaves here and so on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on with this now offline, off camera. And then I will have to show you the finished piece because I'm really not sure what's wrong with Canva at the moment. It's just not playing ball with me. I need to look at a couple of tutorials and just make sure that I've noted all the changes and adjusted myself accordingly. Okay guys, so here we are. Thank you once again to my 125 subscribers. I'm so happy about that. It's so exciting. And I hope you enjoyed this. It's been a very long day for me trying to get it all together, but I've done it, and I'm just going to tack this little piece onto the end of the video. No fancy editing whatsoever. And yes, so like it if you did like it. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'm waiting. And then of course your comments. I do so love your comments, and thank you guys, the ones who commented to me, because you're all so nice and it always makes my day. Anyway, until we meet again, probably sometime next week with the completed page. Stay well, stay safe, and bye bye. Where am I? There I am. Bye bye.